Hello, my friends. Today we're going to talk about a great song, great rock song, almost punk kind of a song actually, from Jet, the band Jet. The song is called Are You Gonna Be My Girl? Very energetic song, lots of power chords. As you should know by now, power chord is a powerful chord, like the name implies. And so we're going to talk about these chords. This song is going to be great for those of you who know a few chords and really want to play a full song. There's not that many sections, and it's fairly easy to play, not very much technical. So we're going to get into that song and go through the parts, and then you'll be able to jam along with the full backing track. So let's check out these parts. Let's talk a little bit about the verse. Very easy. It's all based on one chord, an A chord. A chord, but instead of playing it the open way, like you might have learned when you started playing guitar with open strings, we're going to play a power chord. So I mentioned power chord in the previous section, but for those of you who are unsure about what power chords are, basically a power chord is a chord with two notes. The root, which kind of gives you the name of the chord, and the fifth. And the fifth, what I mean by the fifth, it's simply the fifth note of a scale. And there's something quite magical that happens when you play a root and a fifth together. Both of these notes kind of resonate together, and the harmonics of these notes create something really powerful because they kind of blend together, those harmonics. And so that's what we're going to use here, an A power chord. So we've got an A on the bass, which is played on the fifth string open, which is an A note, and the fifth, which is the fifth note of a scale, is played on the fourth string second fret, and that's the fifth. These two notes together, they kind of resonate together really well. Without getting too much into the science of music, every note has several harmonics. Within the same note, you'll hear other notes, and what's happening here in that A, if you were to analyze the frequencies of that note, you would find that you have the same frequencies that are making that E, which is the fifth. And that's why they work so well together. So we've got a power chord played in A, and we're going to add this little bar right here, which is part of a C chord, but it's so fast that we're not really going to call that a C. We're just going to call that a little embellishment to that C, to that A. And what I'm doing here is I'm using my ring finger, but you may decide to use your index either way. And my ring finger is barring basically the four first strings on the fifth fret. But your pick is not going to play that first string. You only want to aim for the second, third, and fourth string. So basically we've got these two types of chords. So we've got an A, and part of a C5, a C chord, but once again, we're just going to use it over that A. And meaning that if you play an A on bass, fifth string open, it's still going to sound okay. So here's the verse played slowly. That's it. If you listen to the backing track, the bass keeps a steady A, so it's always A. That's why I said that part of that C really is not played, because the bass stays on A. And the movement of your right hand should be pretty much alternate picking, down, up, and that's going to help you keep a steady tempo. Very important in that song to keep a really steady tempo. The chord changes are not that difficult, but really make sure your right hand is articulate and really stick to the tempo. If you listen to the drums and bass, that's going to help you out. So that's it for the verse. One chord, and this verse is repeated throughout the song. The difficult part is going to be to know where to do those breaks, and what I mean by breaks is silences. There's a few spots in there where nothing happens, and you really need to be aware of these spots to let the vocals really shine. So that's it for the verse. We're going to check out a little riff, almost like a little lick that happens in that song throughout the verses. So let's check that out. As you know by now, the song is in A, just like the verse implies, and every once in a while you might have heard this little lick there. really, to me, that's what makes the song. This lick is really a great piece to add to this whole song, which is made of really simple chords, and it kind of brings you to a better appreciation of the song, because you recognize that part. It comes back every once in a while, and it's really welcome to break the monotony of these parts that are repeating over and over. So as I said, we're in the key of A, and we're going to use the friendly minor pentatonic scale. Here's a little reminder of that scale. We have an A on the 6th string, 5th fret. That's going to be our root. That's what gives us the name of the scale. And there's going to be 2 notes in every strings here. Here are the frets from string number 6 to string number 1. 5-8, followed by 5-7. 5-7 on the 4th string. Next string, 5-7 again. Next one, 5-8. And back to the first string here, the top E string, 5-8. So quite easy to remember. For those of you who are not familiar with that scale, make sure you memorize it. It's used in tons of music. It's if you need to know one scale, that's the one. And just a little word of advice on your fingering here. Try to use 1 finger per fret. That's gonna help you out later when you get into more complex things. So basically, index, pinky, index ring, index ring, index ring, index pinky, index pinky. So that little lick that I mentioned earlier is using that scale. We're going to slide into the 4th string, 7th fret from the 5th string. So you don't really hear the 5th string. It's not like, it's more of an effect. You're sliding into that 7th fret. Followed by a double stop. A double stop is 2 notes played at the same time. And these 2 notes are going to be found on the 2nd and 3rd string on the 5th fret. I'm going to play these 2 notes together. And I'm using my index finger as a little bar here. Just like that. We're going to follow this by another double stop, played this time on the same 2 strings, strings 2 and 3, but the 7th fret. And as I mentioned earlier, when I said that you need to stick to the right fingering, 1 finger per fret, since we're on fret number 7, we're going to use the ring finger. So you've got... And we're going to add a little something here on this double stop on the 7th fret. We're going to add a bend. So I'm bending these notes. The question is, how far do you bend? You don't want to do it too much or too little. You want to do it just right. And basically the key, since you're bending 2 notes, you want to get one of these notes as a reference point. And the note that I'm using here as a reference to know how high to bend is going to be the 3rd string, which is on the 7th fret. So as I'm playing this, I'm concentrating on this note, and I'm bending it so that it sounds like the 8th fret. You can kind of hear it. If you're unsure of that technique, just check. Just try that bend, and then just a little check there to see if it did reach the proper note. If it sounds like this, you're not good. If it sounds like this, not good. You really want to get it right. So all together from the top, we've got this little slide, double stop number 1, double stop number 2 that we're bending, and then release it. Little word on this bend. Notice that I'm using 3 fingers to make the bend. This is going to be easier on your fingers. You're going to have more strength. If I used only 1 finger, it's not great. Really hurts and it's not as precise. Here I'm using all 3 fingers. So the ring, the middle, and the index are all putting pressure against these 2 strings we're playing with, strings 2 and 3. And my thumb wraps around for more control. And then release. Play that first double stop again on the 5th fret. Back to the first note that we played, which is on the 4th string, 7th fret. And play that twice. And end on the 4th string, 5th fret. That's it. Here it is all together, fast and slow. That's it. That was the most technical part of the song. So if you get that, you've got the rest. Let's check out what's happening in the chorus. Back to easy stuff, easy chords. So here's the chorus.